Good afternoon. This is and hello. 30th of September 2020. This video is for Indians to embark. Yes. Why is it so important for India to invest in a strategic maritime intrinsic value? Well, we have an appendix and therefore we have two C's between 1.2 billion Indian humans, out of which maritime industry needs only 3 million. But this is average $20,000 approximate numbers. 50% is ratings, 50% is officers. So we talk about 1.5 million seafarers, then it is 50-50, 750,000 officers and ratings now. The great advantage of India is that, of course, the Indians are regarded, at least for myself, very intelligent nation and very, let's say, proactive. And of course, they have, as well as me, say the British background, and therefore laws, regulations. For example, in this case, it is the education of the crew and officers, and it is very good system to adapt ratings towards officers. For example, in the electrician side, they are doing a great job, Indian. Thank you. And Indian crew, let's say seafarers, bring average, let's say $20,000. I know officers, top officers get much more, but just let's say random statistics, aleatory mean, this kind of British words of numbers that I love very much, indeed, which you probably understand. Then approx, let's say $20,000. So, and therefore, if one seafarer brings $20,000, there is another indirect collateral side of utility and inutility. As explained in other videos, is that we have the direct job, but if one person makes one curry, for example, and the curry then is sold, the utility of this curry then goes towards 10 more indirect jobs. So 1 creates 11. This is the indirect economical repercussions of bringing $20,000 to India by a seafarer hero, because they have to be considered by the police, by the health, and by the education heroes. These are the three key aspects we need in India to work for seafarers, because each $20,000 per year I bring, for example, then creates another 10 jobs indirect. So that in total it is 10 plus 1, 11, $220,000. Because if I bring $20,000 to India, then my partner and kids, we put the kids into school, we have a car or a motorcycle, the insurance, the bank, then we have a house, we have a mortgage or a rent, and then we pay electricity, gas, water, the council bills, the country taxes. So there is a huge food. So we buy tomatoes from another Indian producer and say lettuce, and we have rice, and we are in the business. We buy for the curry, we buy all the ingredients, and also we have a restaurant. And if we pull this rope, then we will see that the indirect $20,000. It is in reality economic impact into India of $220,000. So it is a lot of money these heroes bring to India. I believe that India now has invested very much, as I mentioned in many videos, for the maritime industry cause when sailors went and brought ideas, brought economical concepts, brought products, brought services, then this is still going on. And well, we are in touch with the new regulations of all types, from contracts to services, all types, and legislation and business models, and we see many things, and we work in different systems with these health issues also. And so India has done a great job. I mean, I really, my heart is with you, Indians, because I wish I could have a country that would really work so much for its people. And of course, the most important thing for your people is to train them. Next thing is that people have to understand that being a crew or officer working in a company, it really brings $20,000 to your country, but in real economic terms, it is 11 times. This is very simple. We had here an industry, Nissan car maker, then they said, oh, it's going to close, blah, blah, blah. And so then one job, they said it generated 10 because you also have suppliers in that company. And well, then this is the impact of each seafarer, $20,000 per year, boom, 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 into the Indian economy. And these dollars to multiply times 10. So in total is 11. And this multiplied by 1.5 million seafarers, it would be approx 30 billion. So, but yeah, 30 billion is not so much money for some, but for me, it is 3 million families, 1.5 on board, 1.5 shore that live out of this 3 million. So still we have some billion to work with. But then we will have the maritime academies, the schools, we will have control of the maritime coasts of India, and we could have then these seafarers bringing also new ideas, new training, then bringing then control of the Coast Guard, control of the, say, air control, radar, and all kinds of auditors. And then we could go into train these seafarers into auditors of environment, health. You see, now environment and health, how important these are today. It are the most important areas in the world, and the seafarers are very well trained into then not polluting, safety is first, and safety is environment and health. So, sorry, these are very important areas, and therefore, for Indian seafarers, I appreciate that you please put your CV in Candina application. I will not thank enough the government and then the police, the doctors, the health, the teachers, that the schools, they help this get through education, and then us, well, we can give them a job and simply just apply. Well, we can improve in training for yourself. I made so many videos about associations, law, and seafarers, coronavirus, and so many videos I try to teach you. And also I try to learn from you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I see that India is really the envy of the rest of the maritime countries and really a leader into teaching the future generations, because there are a lot of future generations. And one of the reasons, I believe, one of the indicators is that there is the maritime community maritime investment. Because if you do not invest in the sea that surrounds India and it is geographically strategic, then if you do not invest in training seafarers and getting this pool and making it in a way that it is very commercially attractive for a lot of crew management companies to have this availability. If you do not invest, I repeat, it's because you don't invest in yourself. And if you don't invest in the sea, it's because there's no future. So then I thank you very much, all you Indian seafarers, for your training. We are going to need huge numbers of seafarers, mainly officers in the world. Now we are having this problem that slowly we are fighting country by country. We have seen how then Sri Lanka has opened borders and for seafarers. Singapore was the first one. Thank you much. Thank you very much. Sorry, Singapore. Many other countries are starting to open the borders. Spain did also open the borders. So then this is a positive video for you. Please send your application, train yourself in this coronavirus, look after your health, and then to the government of India, thank you very much indeed for all this help you are supplying. I hope that this is reference for other countries to look at intrinsic value. The intrinsic value I calculated before, and the investment. And I also made some videos about waves. Yes, intrinsic value that perhaps you can use both coasts of India and invest in the long term. Because the advantage of this industry, the sea, is that the intrinsic value of investing in sea, in the maritime, is not only a strategic like now essential. We are seeing that 90% of routes are transported by sea, and yes, we are survivors. It is a question of the time scope of the intrinsic value. A lot of investors calculate for 100 years the, say, name, the life of a brand. New companies like Amazon and Microsoft, they have been sailing for about 20, 25 years. Will they sail for 100? Well, India, since it was strategically placed in an appendix of Asia, it has been in contact with the sea for infinity. Therefore, it will probably be multiplied. These figures, one seafarer, 220,000 wealth to India. So that seafarer must have special treatment. If the plane companies, instead of 20 kilo, they allow 40 kilo luggage, why not? They are going to stay away for months. So, or yes, whichever the length of the contract, but please allow them to. If they are thirsty, just not give them one bottle of water, give them two. Yes, if they are hungry, then perhaps it is because they have not had time because they were so busy. If they need to fill immigration papers, visas, medical examinations, PCRs, please put them priority. These are heroes. Yes. If they need to be in the police, then please, police, I appreciate very much that you please give them priority. Now, if there is a queue, please, of course, give them priority. Now, if there is education, now, please, provide them now medical care certificates. We need them to be in the offshore sector. We need them to improve the health, the safety, the new techniques that are. And then if you are a seafarer also, and to the government, sorry, but bureaucracy, please help them to solve the tax things and declare tax-free like Estonia and declare these heroes and these mining agencies, ship management agencies, ship owners, declare them strategic. Why? Because now in coronavirus, did you find out? Well, I hope we don't have to go through longer, so you find out. But first, then we have to solve all these papers and this education. And for you, seafarer, then invest in yourself. Yes. How can you do that? Yes. Train yourself. Yes. I know you have enough English and even much, much better than mine, but you can train yourself in numbers, you can train yourself in papers, you can train yourself in a specific task. Nowadays, you have all these YouTube and training online that you can invest in your health, for example, audits in the environment audits. Now it is a must that we are all responsible for health, like me alone, and how to contact health, and then how to avoid the virus and how to deal with it. And I have to I have to train myself every day. For example, I have to train what countries allow travel, what flights, requirements, PCRs, time of duration of the test, then tours joining the ship. It's like it is quite complicated. We have to be magicians. A friend of mine used to say you have to be a clown, Jose, and smile with 14 plates or 10 plates and keep on smiling. Yes, you have to do that same thing. Yes, and train yourself all the time. Learn new regulations all the time. There is new regulations every time now in this place. In this case, now it is countries regulations for joining and say health measures. What do I have to do to travel from point home to point ship and then from point ship to point home safely? How can I use 14 days quarantine, 7 days quarantine? What kind of a test can I buy? For example, here in Spain, you can buy a test for 100 euros today, test result tomorrow. So, is it worth my health and those that surround me? Is it worth board the ship to have this test availability? Very simple reply. Yes, what is the cost of 1 day ship not trading, or what is the cost of one building just being locked up and then not being able to work? So it is very simple mathematics that we can learn in this coronavirus and cruise situation. I hope you have put already the application in Candina and you ask your neighbors and other countries to do so. And also, the more we invest in a strategic maritime sector, all of us, the better, because we will need this maritime personnel ashore too. Why? Because shore people are just too worried about what time they go home and see people until we get the job done. We do not go home. And if you have any ideas at all to communicate in these emergency situations for us, that work at sea communication is the most important task in this risk environment, health environment situation. So we have to communicate. And if there is an excess communication in order to eliminate risk zero, then that's okay. It would be a failure to cut communication so that risk would grow. No. So then I really look forward that the new generation of seafarers in India join the maritime community because it has a strategic, macro, micro, geographical situation. Probably most of Asia, Asia's wealth will also surround seafarers because seafarers bring wealth. Yes, that has been in history. I don't know if someone can change history. It will not be me, but I will be always close by the sea. And I hope that with these videos today that we can communicate in these emergency situations. India keeps on investing in its uh, future pool because this will bring wealth to India, new ideas, new jobs, new opportunities, new business, and we have always been the leaders since, yes, Captain Antonio Candina in 1896. He wanted to be a maritime officer, and then I'm still here 100 years later, 125. Why? Because a 12-year-old kid was working as a boy in a pharmacy And then the officers used to go there with plants and remedies from Asia and America. And he was in the pharmacy and he was amazed with these officers 125 years ago. Yes, him. So this is the wealth generation of just one boy, one dream. Yes, train them, and then we will have more dreams in the next 100 years. And this is all that you can do, Indian crew and Indian government. I thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you do invest in yourselves. Now it's very easy. Well, you just need to have a little bit of will and non-stop. We need you. Please apply. Thank you. Like, subscribe. Take care. Be safe.